Glass is one of those subjects that it seems so difficult, especially in watercolors, but it doesn't have to be. Let me show you in this video how. By putting all carry the same colors or whatever surrounds the object through the object, in this case our mason jar, then we already achieve transparency. And if we put some darks and lights where it matters, then you have glass. So what we're waiting for, let's start painting. This is the finished jar, and what it makes it believable is the combination of the highlights, the background color showing through the glass, the darker edges where the glass is thicker, and of course the distortion of the brush going through. So as we paint, watch for those things, and together they will help us create a mason jar that feels real. I already put a little bit of masking fluid in very small areas. You will see it more once I put my colors on it. Then I paint the surrounding colors, the ones that we see through the glass. And once everything is dry, we will put the sharper edges to give it form. This is neutral tint by Daniel Smith, very, very diluted, and I added a touch of French ultramarine. Now, my drawing looks like I did a drawing because that's what it is. When I use subjects that are like this, where the proportions are really important, and because I like to paint realistic, then I like to make my drawings as precise as possible, so I don't have to adjust while I paint. So that's why you see it. I didn't shade, but other than that, I did it as if it was a graphite painting, drawing, sorry. I put the same colors that they are in the background inside my glass while everything is wet, and I'm gonna do it here till this water line right here. This is light, and it's even gonna dry lighter, so don't be scared if right now it looks a little bit too dark. It's not. It's good. And I don't have much left, which is fine, meaning that I'm bringing a little extra water, and this is going to be even lighter. And I'm going to take advantage of that, and then just apply a light wash here on what it will be the tablecloth, since I'm at it. If you are interested into skipping this part, going straight to painting, I do offer the tracings and reference pictures on my Patreon, and I will leave the link over here. Now what I'm going to do is, with this very little light wash, I'm going to bring it inside a little bit. Also go ahead and bring some of that one around here, which is what I'm going to do. So I am lifting a little bit of the color here because this now that it's wet, because I have a highlighter there. This is dry. We're ready to put the necessary same colors, and then we're gonna go ahead and start putting a little bit of a darker areas, which are gonna be around the rim, because the glass is thicker in these parts. So I was gonna start with that, but color is relative, and if I have my brush. This is a dark brush that is going to be very close to all that. And once I put this in the dark colors, all of these chances are they are going to look too light. So I will have to repaint it. Because of that, because color is relative to the color that is next to them, I'm going to go ahead and start painting the brush. So I have a highlight, and I'm going to put this color, the color of the highlight first, then we will come back with the darker. When painting glass, another thing that we have to keep in mind is not just transparency, it's also distortion. So as objects go through it, and this happens no matter what, which one even with a glass of water. The glass will distort, I don't know, I'm sure there is a scientific reason for it. The object, and we try to paint it like that. We paint what we see. Now my mind is telling me that this is a straight thing, but if I put it straight, then when we look at it, we're gonna know that something is off, because our eyes also know how things are usually look. Some go higher, some go down, so I keep that in mind when painting things in the through glass. So now that this has dried, like I said, I have a highlight that I have to be careful that on this rim, I mark the rim where it is. All right, so you have to go again, just go once again. Okay, so I just go in with my water to make sure that I don't have a hard edge, but that I do have the highlight, and that is what is allowing me to get the roundness of the brush. I'm gonna treat this jar as if there were two separate ones. I'm gonna do the one above the water first, and then we will do the other one. They are the same colors, okay? They are the neutral tint with a hint of French ultramarine. Now, the glass is always in the rims and at the bottom, especially like in jars like this, they tend to be thicker, so therefore it looks a little bit darker because it's thicker glass and in this part over here, and also in the bottom, and the letters. In this case, this one has letters. Shadows, like I have a shadow here. Yes, what is gonna give us shape. So now I come with water and soften some of these off. Go with water and see, having the same color that it was going through is what started giving me the transparency. So one way is we put the dark. Another way is like I want to have a little bit of a highlight there. So I can go over here with the darker color to put my hard edge here. And I'm going to bring it all the way down till wherever my water comes, which in this case is going to be somewhere around here. So I'm going back and forth between the hard edge and the soft edge. You remember at the very beginning that I said I want to highlight over here? Well, I left a little bit, but also if I go with my darker color right now, I can, voila, have it back. It's a little bit darker. By going around here, I don't know if you see, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna come a little bit, and this is what is gonna start giving us the shape of our jar. What I'm gonna do is, this is my waterline, so that I can come and remove all the masking fluid that I have right now here in the letters and what. Yeah, this is light, but it's not white. So I'm gonna come with this color and I'm gonna soften it up. We're gonna have the brush rinsing and put in some color. So for that, it's gonna be a little bit of a turquoise color, and I'm gonna bring a little bit of a reflection, light reflection while it's wet. All right, this is already started to look like glass, but before I keep putting all the sharp edges, which we will do at the end, we need to work a little bit on our bottom one. I haven't forgot about that hard edge here where the water is going. Then I'm gonna have some darks, and then right away I go with water. This part over here is gonna be pretty dark. Now it's time to start bringing some of the swirl color. So I wait ahead of time. I don't want to have hard edges. The color is dissolving into the water. This is the color that I'm bringing is my turquoise by Winston and Newton. All right, so if I put like little swirls, we will redefine this more, but like the water, wherever the color goes, it will not be all color. This part underneath, I'm leaving my line for the water. This is where the color will be a little bit stronger, because I'm gonna have and we will come back and strain it, all these colors. Right now I just talking to myself. Let me wet this part, and then it's slightly gray under the waterline too. So while my bottom part dries, it's time for us to start bringing some of the detail. This is the fun part, some of the hard edges that is going to make this look very, very realistic. I continue to use my same neutral tint and neutral tint with a hint of French ultramarine. I want a dark area here, but I want it soft so I don't want a hard edge. Therefore, I wait ahead of time. All right, and it goes a little here. So now we put in these details, and it's building the form of our glass. The fact that the color of the background is the same on the glass is what it gives us the transparency of the glass. So we did that illusion, otherwise it will not be credible. By having some of these shadows and between my light highlights that I saved with my masking fluid, then it makes them everything more realistic, and even my white, these white areas like kind of pop out a little bit more, if you will. And this is just actually pretty fun. It's a fun way to build. I'm gonna continue. It's a repetition, so I'm gonna continue to do this edge here in a fast motion. These sharp details, darker accents, it means that everything, the whole yard starts to feel like glass and not just pale shapes. I'll show you how I do this, because I have the hard edge a little bit, the darker edge a little bit inside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm coming with darker color, nothing major. I come right away with water, only water in this brush, diffuse them. Now I'm gonna go even lighter, and I'm gonna bring it here, but once again I do not want to have a hard edge. Here I have the letters, but the letters are not just there for decoration. Obviously they are in this jar. It's also allowing me to get the form that I need to. Incoming, this part of the P is a little bit darker, the white, and then I have this one that is like lighter, medium, darker. So I have another dark one here. And all of this is helping us bring some things forward and pushing some to the sides. In this case, they're a little bit more square. If I put a little bit of the darker right next to the lighter color, the white in this case, shows up more. And both things, we don't have to put them all, but just enough, some of these details that is gonna help us build the shape. So because I did a good drawing, meaning I knew what kind of details to put. I don't know what is here. I have shadows and whatnot, but I see some of my marks, so I can relate, knowing that I was accurate when I was drawing, that if I put a little bit of these nonsensical things that I have over here, I don't have, my proportions are right, and they are giving me the turning and the shape that I need to. So that's why I prefer to do this with my pencil and eraser than not having to do it now with my brush and paint. Impression is enough, and then look, it's making me get the volume and turning that I need to, and very little, like I said, nothing major. All right, and just to finish this top part, I'm gonna go with water and drop some color, because I don't want to have a hard edge, just want a little bit of darkness here and there. That's the reason why I wait ahead of time. So let's continue to do a little bit of this distortion of the brush. It will go between these letters now that we have removed the masking. So it will come a little bit like this, and it will curve actually, but once again, this is giving us shape. Brighter colors now, and as I do the brighter colors, then I'm also doing negative painting on my letters, making them stand up more. Turquoise with a hint of I believe it's cobalt blue. So the darker color closer to where the brush is. darker, and also by putting it out here, I'm allowing like the negative painting of the letters. One thing that happens though is this is reflecting into this letter, and the letter, it is sharp. So let's just bring it, just building the letters, but I am not putting every single thing. I just some of these distortions and then lights and darks. See, if I just put a little bit of it, well, that's probably part of the brush. And again, that's what I'm seeing. Allow a little bit of an edge, and then this color from here will show over here as well. All right, I'm gonna continue doing a little bit of this. I'm not gonna do much more, but I'm gonna do it in fast forward because it takes a lot of time. We just had to work a little bit on this bottom part, and this painting will be almost done. So I'm gonna bring some of these darker colors here. This is kind of like a waterline, and then I'm gonna come and bleed them out. All right, so this is it. This is some of the darkest values here. I need a darker here at the bottom. Let's just start building this bottom part. Then I'm gonna come and I'm gonna have a dilution. I'm gonna build some around here. And this is giving me the roundness, kind of ellipse of the bottom, but I am not making it solid. I want some of these other colors to stay there. It looks more, reads more natural. This one here has a couple sharps, and this one is very sharp. I continue to relay here on what I draw, so that I don't have to guess what is the direction of these lines, or the proportion for the matter. I do have a hard one here, so let's just put it, and then it's gonna go a little bit lighter, and this is gonna give us the shape of this edge. Soft right here. All right, so now it's time to bring our color. This is the part here at the bottom with some of the color has settled. Already building. I'm also building shape. Just add a little bit of the cobalt blue. One line like that. Then I'm gonna come with water, and I'm gonna make it like if it is spreading into the water. Some turquoise now close to our white. And again, this will be round, so let me be mindful of the shapes. I'm gonna take my time, and I'm gonna start building a little bit of this letter. Again, like I did over there. I'm not going to put every single letter, only like the parts that it will make sense. Like for example, the color is all concentrated here, so yeah, it will have color inside this letter, but it will go from more to less, more to less. Bottom, edge, and this edge is gonna make the O, and the darker color is gonna continue to come here. So I'm bringing it here. Bristles of the brush, the color is gonna be in between. Let's just put a few in between the black. I'm gonna put it here underneath my water line. I'm gonna bring one like this, and then come with water. Let's put a few of these swirls. Paint. Let's just go one that goes this way, one that goes the other. Like if by swirling, the brush is creating motion. For the bottom, it's better if I start bringing some shadows. Bring the color farther away. Now I can go ahead and start bringing it in. And now I wet all of this so that I don't have a hard edge. So I'm almost to the point where I'm gonna have when I'm ready to put the final details that is gonna make everything pop up and stand up. But first I need to let this dry so I can rest my hand to just put these little but important details. I'm going with a scrubbing brush, and this is a little too harsh for me. So this highlight, I'll soften it up. And soften it up here too. Now I'm gonna go with this one because this is the metal part of the brush. Give me a waterline out there. Okay. These little tiny details, it seems like they are not important, but this is actually what it brings the whole thing together, because it adds, for one, it adds to the transparency of making it more transparent of the glass bottles with the water, and then no water is. So it's not a straight line, okay? It just goes, because water, like we established before, water kind of moves. So I also want to have a little bit of one at the bottom over here. I have some of those blues, so I'm picking some of that, and that's something that I want. And also we're gonna go high, so kind of like it goes down and then it goes high. Again, water, we're painting the water, and the water line is not going to be completely even. Let's just train that a little bit here at the bottom. Again, we don't have a cast shadow because, like I mentioned before, we're dealing with a transparent medium that allows the light to go through. So I see a little bit of a shadow here in the back, so I'm coming with the shadow colors. I'm gonna bring it all the way from there because I wanna have a soft edge, and I'm gonna darken. Get it as close as you can to the glass. There you go. Then one that it has a better tip, so that I can get a little bit closer here. Hey, we work pretty hard for this edge, so we don't want to lose it. All right. And now I can go with my bigger brush, the one that carries more water, and then just finish this up. And finally, while all of this is wet, I just gonna go with only water and then soften this a little bit too. We can see how by repeating the colors of the background inside the glass, then our transparency has been achieved. How also by putting the dark area and the areas where you need it, especially with the glass is thicker. I'm gonna bring it lightly here, and I'm gonna call this painting done. Let's just see how it dries, but I think that is done. I hope that in this video has given you confidence so that you can paint glass or any transparent object. The big thing is to remember is that glass is transparent, therefore it carries the colors of what surrounds them. You achieve that, then you're already halfway there. If you like painting realistic subjects, I'm going to link a few other videos here, tracings and reference pictures. Of course, I'll link below for Patreon. I thank you for being here. I hope that you learned something with me today, and I will see you in my next video.